Thanks so much, and thanks to everybody. I hope I can go a little bit on in these interesting presentations this morning. So I'm going, I hope, to be with you and trying to help you in setting your research questions. And actually, from my perspective and my research. And actually, I would like to start with you, taking into consideration some real cases and some real problems and examples to better analyze and see what the new challenges are in the field of heritage science, and specifically in the field of digital heritage and innovation and technological innovation. So let's start with an example. So the archaeological site you are seeing in this moment is in Rome. Actually, it is the Forum of Augustus, the Emperor Augustus. So this archaeological site, it's closed. It is restricted only for really experts that can ask to visit the site, but for the most of people, of citizens, they can and we can see this archaeological site only from outside, from the street. Moreover, you see the condition of the site, how it is, how it looks today, and many of the remains belonging to the site are conserved in the nearby museums. And nevertheless, it is so important, the story and the historical concepts related to Rome, the imperial Rome, Augustus as an emperor and his politics. And it's really hard to understand all this complexity through this site. How can we do? Second example. Okay, here we are in another situation. We are moving from archaeology to art and monuments. What you're seeing here is an amazing and astonishing painted chapel in Florence that is really a wonder of the Renaissance, with fantastic frescoes done by Masaccio and Masolino painters. And this chapel was open to the public and visible until this year. But in order to study some deterioration, some problems that emerged last year, it was necessary to create a scaffolding inside the chapel and limit the visits to the chapel. You can see some examples of the diagnostic work that are currently going on inside this chapel. The problem here is really how can visitors understand, first of all, what the colleagues are doing in terms of restoration and diagnostic inside the chapel. And also, how can visitors who could not visit the chapel, could not visit this monument, how could they better understand the importance and the beauty of this monument? This is basically what we are doing in the Digital Heritage Innovation Lab at CNR. This lab has researchers working in this field in Rome, Florence, Lecce, and Catania. You can have a look also in the website online, inside the general website of the Institute. We are working specifically in Florence and Rome. We are working on immersive virtual reality, collaborative virtual reality, interactive storytelling, and hybrid experiences. And I personally based in Florence some amazing images of Florence. It's really a wonderful city, and our institute is close to this fantastic city, with a lot of opportunity in working with heritage from several perspectives. What we have done, some short example, we have been working, because this is, our research is mainly, and my research is mainly focused on interactive technologies. So in the past, I've been working on collaborative serious gaming and collaborative applications and technologies. And my colleagues have also developed kind of hybrid experiences to communicate our heritage. We have also produced and designed, co-produced a video game for PlayStation VR that is called A Night in the Forum. And regarding the research part, I can say that what I do is really trying to create a bridge between the heritage sciences, human-computer interaction, and cognitive sciences. I'm particularly focused and interested in knowledge. So it means how we can better, develop knowledge from our heritage, memory and recall. The second topic is attention, concentration and distraction. The third is experience, so including embodiment, engagement, motivation, but also transformation and career attitude and sociality. Some question we've been trying to face in the past years is how, for example, how do we facilitate knowledge acquisition? How can we strengthen also memory and recall, especially in those applications that are important for students, for example, such as educational interactive media or serious gaming, also taking into consideration the impact of distraction. What we have done following this approach is that we have developed a video game, a serious game, that overlay a bunch of a number of learning concepts on top of the reconstruction of 3D architecture, places and elements, a series of gaming tasks and a certain game mechanics. All these were included into a story. The story was built following a theory that started in the 70s, actually, and that from this theory, we now know that if in our storytelling we structure our narrative in a certain way, we are pretty sure that our user, our visitor, our reference could better recall information, especially if the main concepts are stored in a higher hierarchical level. So what came out is this game. It is called, the specific type of games is named environmental narrative video game. And actually, it's really relevant for the heritage science because it enables users to really immerse in realistic environment with some game mechanics and try to understand and fill the gap, we might say. So in the case of this game, a visitor is closed, it remains stuck inside the archaeological site, and after finding an object, find himself back in time in the 1st century, and he has to spend one night in the forum wearing the shoes of the guardian of the forum and prepare the forum this site before its opening in the morning, discovering in this way all the historical fundamental educational elements. What else? We are currently working, and we are really proud of it, thanks to my colleague, Bruno Fanini. We are currently working and developing an entire open source framework called Atom that enable web app cross-device development. It's really modular, it enables multi-user approaches, and it is developed using the most updated web standard. I've left also a reference paper for that. Why I'm telling this? Because a lot of applications that we are designing in these years are based on this framework. An example is this. It is called Admodo, was developed in 2014 for a big exhibition around Europe, and not only, because also Egypt and Sarajevo and Bosnia and Herzegovina were included. In this specific use of this framework, you see two different applications. It's a sort of multi-user experience where one user can explore and find certain object in a 3D environment, while a second user could manipulate the object and see it more in detail. Another example is what is called the temporal lensing, that enable online interactive exploration of monuments and archaeological sites, and the observation of some elements, some qualities, some semantic specifics of an archaeological sites, as in this case you are seeing the potential reconstruction of this site in this way. So this way it's really clever, because enable the user to have the two levels of knowledge and continuously, you know, analyze and compare what is visible with what is not visible anymore. And another example recently presented is the possibility to explore sites, having a sort of timeline, and again, online, interactively, and web-based and 3D. So to conclude, I would like to point out and explore with you some new challenges that today, after the pandemic, are also new social challenges. So we need to define as researchers new priorities, trying to answer to the new needs that are emerging. Like, for example, virtual tourism. From a research in the tourism field, what came out is that visitors normally in cultural tourism, they search for meaningful, authentic, and memorable experiences. So the question for us is, when it is not possible to travel, for example, to a place, or to visit for even for conservation, for example, or for the state of conservation of a monument or of a site, how can these three keywords be brought into the digital domain? So what is a meaningful, authentic, and memorable virtual experience? And to understand and try to design and create the next generation VR, XR, I would say, experience, we need to really understand what's behind these words. And we have started to go in this direction, and I'm personally really interested and working in the strengthening of empathy and the sense of wonder of our heritage. And it is already studied in literature. It is really crucial, this strengthening of the connection between our heritage and the citizen and society. And second, meaningfulness. So somehow meaningfulness is a guide that can help also to guide visitors and users in our interactive media, using historical enchantment, facilitated dialogue, and provocation. These are, for example, 3 already known directions that can be really interesting. But also what is really important, as you have seen in the starting real case examples, caring for our heritage is crucial. And unfortunately, when we as citizens, when we see restorations or there's a really low level of awareness regarding the importance of our heritage and the importance of maintaining, conserving, studying this, even through diagnostic, studying our heritage. So how can we create, design next generation interactive application in a way that we are able also to improve the caring perception? So some hints for you. So this is very simple example. Imagine that there's a subject and a caring object. In this first example, you have a mother, and that's the subject, our user, and the caring object is the kid. If the kids start crying, the event is starting, then there's an immediate reaction of the mother. Because, why? Because there's a very strong biological link, of course. Unfortunately, when we think about a visitor, for example, and an artwork, this reaction doesn't happen, or at least it doesn't happen so immediate. It's not immediate, and the reason is because this link is weak. So we have to take into consideration these elements and to create systems that are able to build stronger links, even because those links helps to create also the sense of belonging of ourself and in regards to our heritage, and that's the base of, again, of social cohesion. And finally, the last keyword that you have seen, authenticity. There's a new research that I'm currently carrying on that regards the authenticity that is not related to realism of the appearance of the digital models that you are developing, but it's connected to the way how people can transform something that is different, unknown, far, and transforming this into something that is personal, is our, it becomes our. And this can be done only taking into consideration the 3 pillars of, on top of which authenticity is built: the self, the we, so the social parts of the experience, and the environment. That's really important, because we have a body and our knowledge is embodied, as neuroscientists tell us. So how do we develop authentic experiences suitable for virtual tourism, for example? Or how could we make diagnostic and restoration clear to be understood and something our society should take care for? How could we better design and prototype these new ideas? And these are the new research challenges at CNR ISPC in the Digital Heritage Innovation Lab. Authentic hybrid experiences, meaningful immersive experiences, new design approaches to role play, for example, or in general serious games, collaborative environments, interactive experiences for social cohesion, caring for heritage, so empathic environments, and interactive media design toolkits for the new priorities. And thanks for your attention.